Okay, starting off the show on a bit of a somber tone, as we seem to do a lot these days. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Just got
Yeah.
the news yesterday that he passed, died in a hotel room in Orlando, I want to say, while on a comedy tour.
Yeah.
Just
Sad.
passed. Yeah, no signs of foul play. They don't even think drugs were involved, but
Yeah, the
you know,
initial report I saw, the fact is I was scrolling through because TMZ reported it and I'm like, it's TMZ. So I like tried to find some legitimate news source and
mhm.
it was kind of trickling in from everywhere. But then I saw, like, I think Vanity Fair, one of the articles, the sheriff's department initially said that there was no drugs found or anything else. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? 65 years old.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but at the same time, fuck, man, it's all these people that we sort of grew up with were just sort of watched die off.
Yeah, I
And
mean, this human condition, right? Yeah, we, your infatuation with death is well founded,
mhm.
um, and something like this, I think that what's jarring about something like with Bob Saget is the idea that, like, all right, he tweets that very, like, at 3 in the morning he sends out a tweet that says, how much he's invigorated by his comedy tour, basically, right?
Mhm.
He just did 2 hours and he's like, really energized and does whatever, and then lays down and never wakes up.
Yeah.
So, it's Luna Girl brings up a valid point. I mean, he partied like a rock star doing,
Oh, yeah.
what he did.
Yeah, he was the exact opposite of that squeaky clean image that we saw in like Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos
Right.
growing up.
And that was the dichotomy of him, right? It was
Yeah.
that, like, he was, everyone was so jarred by his, I just used jarring in two different contexts twice in a minute. Um, the Full House persona. And then you hear his stand up and go like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, and you get a little glimpse into that window during Half Baked when Dave
Right.
Chappelle is at that AA meeting, and Bob Saget jumps up. It's like, you ever suck dick for coke? That's an addiction, man.
Exactly.
So, that's a little window into the real Bob Saget and his stand up and everything. But either way, rest in peace, sir. Another great one gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Too soon.
Yep. That being said, hello everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, the culinary arts, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roskam. With me here each and every single week, the risotto to my beef Wellington, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm Beef Wellington? Really?
I went with Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen kind of theme.
Okay. Sure.
Because he's always yelling, who burned the risotto? The beef Wellington's terrible.
Okay.
You tell me you've seen Hell's Kitchen before.
I've seen parts of it. Not like, I'm not a religious follower of it. Sorry. That coffee mug is that just a huge coffee mug, or is it?
It's an optical illusion.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It looks like it's the size of your head. I mean, legitimately, it's.
You're not far off. I had to make a big cup of coffee to last
Look,
me through the whole show.
Like,
so.
see, here's this Diet Coke can next to my face. It's
Well, see,
normal,
but I can't just
size,
reach over.
right?
I can't just reach over and grab another hot cup of coffee. So I had to brew a massive cup before I came in here.
I mean, in theory, you could.
I mean, if we want to talk about me, like, calling Kristen in here, chop chop, bring me another cup of coffee. But
No, I don't think that's a good idea based on her current condition. But I think that you could, have a thermos of coffee that you could keep in, just like you would with your cooler of beer when you were imbibing.
That would involve thinking ahead, and it's just not something I'm really into right now. So
Fair enough.
Anyway, Dave, what are we talking about today?
I have no fucking idea. Oh wait, no, it's Star Wars, right? Yeah. There was a new Book of Boba Fett.
Correct.
That had come out. So we're gonna talk about Chapter 2 of the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
The search for more sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, bro. Gets
Yeah.
into everything.
Yeah, this has been an interesting journey so far.
Yeah,
So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to get into the details later, but first we got some business to take care of. First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. Our Patreon is patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. We have gotten 3 new patrons since last week. That would be our good friend Nick, aka Big Swede, Engineering Perspective, aka our friend Vickers, and Frederick Martin, who has supported us quite a bit in the past. So thank you to our new patrons, and also thank you to our previous patrons, Shotgun Mark, Frank Kulovich, Ivo G, Scott and Kim Rasmussen. Go check out the Used and Abused podcast, and Miss Kristen Roskam. Thank you all so much. You are the reasons why we do this.
I need to look at the Patreon thing to make sure that there is actually snaps listed as one of the requests. Otherwise, yeah. I still think that the snaps are extraneous and they should be removed from the record.
There are benefit tiers, and one of the benefit tiers is that we are allowing our patrons to help sort of guide the show a little bit. In fact, we have a poll up right now that we just put up today that's asking for what should we talk about on our January 31st episode, because we have no topic selected yet for that day. Right. So I'm putting up a series of polls for them to pick our topic.
Yeah, it's an extra Monday. Fuck yeah. 5 Mondays in a month. Like, bleh.
I know, right? So yeah, the first poll that's up right now is asking for the overall topic. I put a bunch of generic stuff in there. I put like a bad movie, kind of like a Birdemic type of thing. I put normal movie. I put a Star Wars related topic, a music related topic, or other, and I'll allow people to make their own selections. And we've gotten 4 votes already. So everybody else who's part of our Patreon, get in there and vote and help craft our January 31st topic. Oh my God, Dave.
What?
I just watching Dave use what I'm assuming is a back scratcher.
Yeah, look at it. It's collapsible. Isn't that great? Look at it.
That's fantastic. So anyway, with all of these new Patreon supporters, just want to, again, give a big thank you, and just want to let you know again that all of this money is going right back into the show. Dave and I need to buy some new equipment, and we need to buy a new trophy for our fantasy football league. Now, me personally, I'm leaning more towards going to like one of the championship belts. Like, I don't know if you've seen those or not, but you can do like a custom championship belt. Or we can just do like a regular plaque or trophy that's got like the plates with the names engraved. But
so our squadron, or the squadron I work for, actually has a championship belt for one of the I want to say it's for Airman of the Year or one of those qualifiers. They're fucking fantastic. They really are. It is something to strive for. So.
And if we did that, you know, we'd present it to Lunar Girl this time as our current champion, and then every time she goes on one of the hundreds of Red 5 podcasts like she does every week, she can like be sporting her championship belt
strapped
the whole time.
So, not across her chest. I'm making this motion because this is the only part of me you're seeing.
Right.
I'm not saying you'd wear it across your chest, Lunar Girl. I'm just.
Should probably throw it more over the shoulder.
Yeah, never mind. I don't know what I'm doing.
But either way, that's probably the first major purchase we're going to make, and we just have to decide. I don't know if we should just do an Patreon poll too, to let the patrons decide what kind of trophy, or if we should just decide amongst the two of us.
Sure.
Thank you for your inputs, Dave.
Yeah. Good. I'm not that you're putting me on the spot or anything.
Right. So, anyway, we got some other business to get to.
Yeah.
First, let's talk about this new Facebook page, Dave.
Yeah, Facebook. I should look at the show notes. Yeah. So, we've always had a Facebook presence. It's, we have our private Facebook group, the Sidebar Cantina. You can search for it, and we have a lot of shenanigans on there. And it's kind of where we've been hiding out on Facebook, because the rest of Facebook is just too much social justice nonsense going on, so we've kind of avoided it. However, I made myself laugh. Recently, Facebook actually made it so that you could have podcasts on your Facebook page. So
like links to the shows, so you can just like hit the audio button and it'll play.
So it actually has an RSS feed on on the Facebook page that has the podcast. So you can stream from it just like you would if you were going to Spotify or anything else. So now we have, outside of the private Facebook group, we have a Facebook page. So it'll be facebook.com/the Sidebar Cantina, just like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to that page, and on your mobile device, not like if you go to it on your computer, it won't show up. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I think it has podcasts off to the side. I haven't really thoroughly researched it.
Well, and let's be real. If you're on your phone and you want to listen to a podcast, you're probably not going to do it through Facebook.
Probably not.
Let's just be real.
But in an effort to be as thorough as possible, this is an opportunity to have more availability for somebody that may not want to be on other platforms.
Oh yeah,
oh, by the way, you can leave reviews.
Ooh, nice.
So this would be another opportunity for people to give us 5-star reviews
and get stickers
and hand jobs from Jason,
and have us read your comment live on the show.
Right, exactly. And that's
do it.
We'll talk. We could talk about it more at the end of the show. But yeah, I just want to check out the Facebook page, give it some love, and if you're on your mobile device, check out the audio versions from there. That's probably making a lot of noise on the microphone.
Yes, that was.
Stop doing that.
So, you got anything Red 5 to talk about before we get into this or that?
Real quick, want to continue to shout out Alan from Press Play Streaming Studio, who not only made our fancy intro, but also continues to hit us with stellar surprises. You will find out soon enough. Wink. Yes, Dave, read it as I wrote it. Wink. More Red 5 news after the show. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you get to see the intro video. Thank you, Alan, very much for that. And maybe see something a little bit more from Alan a little later. Wink. Wink. All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. That's it.
All right.
No more winking. Wink.
Oh, God, now I just feel uncomfortable. We do a segment.
Both eyes.
Oh, God. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, you're really missing out on some of these weird faces Dave's making. Anyway, we do a segment on the show every week called This or That, where on our Instagram. And what is our Instagram, Dave?
At the Sidebar Cantina.
Correct. She gives you two options, and we go over the results here on the show. This week being a Star Wars based topic, she did a Star Wars based poll. A lot of focus on what's going on here, so let's get right into it. This crime syndicate is badass. We have the Pikes versus the Hutt clan. I
went with the Pikes.
Yeah?
I'm more intrigued by the Pikes. Spoiler alert, the Pikes are in this chapter.
Yes.
Sorry. But I went with the Pikes. I really think that it's a more interesting storyline. The idea of giant slugs ruling the galaxy in a crime syndicate really doesn't appeal to me. It's kind of a far-fetched idea anyway. Yeah. Especially once it can get choked out by some fucking broad in a metal bikini.
That's fair. But for me, I went with the Hutts only because they're galaxy known. They have their own section of space. It's called Hutt space for a reason. So, I think that they're legendary in their reputation, that we haven't seen a whole lot, at least not in the current canon as far as the Hutts go, but I have a feeling we're going to start seeing a lot more of that as we move along, obviously based on this episode. So, crime syndicate you hope to see in the future Book of Boba Fett, or in the future of Book of Boba Fett. Crimson Dawn or the Black Sun?
What did I pick?
Hold on. Let me just take a step back. First of all, the Hutt clan won 56% to 44% for the previous question. Now, you, much like 88% of the people, probably picked Crimson Dawn over Black Sun for the second question, because Crimson Dawn, that's the one that's being run by Boba Fett and or Kira, Han Solo's ex-flame. So more than likely they're gonna come back up into the fold. But Black Sun, I barely remember them, honestly. I can't even remember if they were in Clone Wars or Rebels or both. I only recognize them because they're the same species as Sheezer from the old Legends material. The fuck Shadows of the Empire. They got
Okay.
like his same garb on and everything, but otherwise, I don't remember shit about the Black Sun. That's the thing. I'm very, yeah, I'm just very unknowledgeable about all the crime syndicates, except for what we've seen in the movies predominantly, or
Yeah.
these new shows.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have something like Book of Boba Fett where we're getting into these crime syndicates, then the more the merrier. Like if he's going to be competing against these other syndicates, if he's going to be talking about spice movements and things like that, obviously we're going to start getting a little bit broader into human trafficking and spice trafficking and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's going to get interesting.
Yep, for sure. Next one, we've got your kind of place, either the Cantina, the Mos Eisley Cantina, also called the Chalmun's Cantina, versus the Sanctuary, which is the new cantina-like place that's got the Max Rebo pianist and the gambling tables and all that shit in Book of Boba Fett.
2 words: hot Twi'leks.
So you're saying you went with the Sanctuary?
I did. I yeah.
Yeah, I went with old school. I went with the Cantina. We are the Sidebar Cantina, so I felt a little obligated to pick that.
Yeah, see, I look, but we have 2 hot Twi'leks on the Sidebar Cantina. The actual cantina, like it has that like gritty, dirty, like and you walk in,
yeah,
you can smell it. It's like it's one of those dive bars in the middle of some place in Texas that people pee on the floor, and it's
right.
like real dark and ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sanctuary kind of smells nice.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a lot cleaner.
Yeah, it's just like hey, look, I'm not scared to look at people here.
Right. He doesn't like you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like you either. So the Sanctuary, the Sanctuary barely eked it out, 52% to 48%. Every Tatooine resident should have one, either a Mastiff, that's the little crazy dog-looking things that the Sand People have, or Banthas.
I don't want to pick up after a Banta, so I'm going with the dog-like thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm going old school here, going with the Banthas. They're huge fucking mounts, but also I don't like those new dogs.
Giant shits.
They just
giant shits. You have little animals. You have a little dog. It takes little shits. You like that Banta would take a shit that would like is 3 times the size of your dog.
Mm-hmm.
And it would eat so much. It's like
that is true. The cost to feed those fuckers is probably way up there. And then every once in a while you'll have a crate dragon just like popping in and like eating your fucking Banthas. It's a mess.
Hi, Alan. We just talked about you a few minutes ago.
You missed your shout out, and it's never gonna happen again. All right, moving on to our last question. Who do you think will make a surprise appearance in season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett? Kira, or
No.
Omega?
No, neither.
You didn't pick either.
Neither.
Well, obviously,
I skipped it.
I'm all about the Omega coming into Book of Boba Fett theory. So yeah, I hope it happens. Realistically, it probably wouldn't happen this season. I think Kira would be a much more likely, like realistic person to show up this season, but we'll see. And that was this or that. We also have a Twitter poll, which, Dave, what is our Twitter?
Sidebar Cantina.
Yes. And she just wanted you to... who do you think may surprise us with an appearance in season 1? We have people and groups. Crimson Dawn ended up winning with 70%, followed by Omega at 20%, and all of the above at 10%.
I think the only... Wow. Can you not, beat up your microphone?
Sorry.
Jesus. I think the only issue with all these extra crime syndicates, and we'll talk about it a little bit more as we get into the show. I swear to God, it looks like you're going to put your entire head in that coffee cup whenever you put it to your face. You got to be watching on YouTube. And the only issue I have with the all these crime syndicates is too much. We haven't established this one yet. Right, we're 2 episodes into how many they're going to do.
9 apparently for this season.
Okay, Like we haven't really gotten a good foothold into what this one's going to be about. So I don't necessarily need to see a whole lot of other shit yet. Let's just fucking establish what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
they already,
it's
in my mind, they already spent too little time talking about how fucking Boba Fett's got to this point. Although with all the flashbacks, we're kind of getting pieces of it.
oh, I've got a lot of notes about that. So
We're gonna have a montage, a motherfucking montage.
That's in my notes also. Anyway, are you ready to move on to our week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So for me, I've been complaining for the last few weeks now about this abdomen pain I've been having. Finally got a bunch of tests done. Finally got my results back. And unfortunately, I have fatty liver disease and a cyst on my kidney. So hooray! Though I guess it could have been worse. I honestly was like thinking cancer the whole time. But after doing some research, apparently fatty liver disease is treatable. I just have to really watch what I eat, and obviously no more alcohol. So sad face. Yeah. Which it sucks because, you know, I enjoy drinking. Not just like, I'm not like I need a fucking drink. No, it's like I like having a few drinks and then talking shit on the podcast, you know, kind of getting a little belligerent and just having fun with it. But yeah, those days are over for a while.
Yeah, so I actually, you know, just and real quick at sidebar, you know, I know what's interesting is people that may watch us or listen to us or whatever. One thing that we are as Gen Xers, we are really open about some of the shit that's wrong with us, and I think I know for me, you know, especially with like mental health stuff and things like that, I want to put it out there because, you know, hey, you're not alone, right? We're in the same age bracket. People are going through the same shit, right? So you certainly are not alone going through it. We go through, you know, we're all in this thing together. So we might as well share these experiences and know that you're not alone. So that you know, seek help when you can get it, and
sure,
you know, and get better. So these are steps to doing that, you know, going and getting checked out, and, you know, getting a diagnosis, and you know what? I mean, it's cutting out alcohol for a while, then so be it.
Yeah.
I have and I too have the fatty liver bit, and I know for me, it was directly related to my alcohol consumption.
I'm sure that's a big contributing factor for me also. But also I've been eating like really shitty pretty much since July when I hurt my shoulder.
But I do also
drink whatever I want.
I also know that for me, when I stopped drinking, like, you know, several years ago when I started to get sick with all the other stuff and I stopped drinking, that really, really went into the background. And so it is very, very treatable, and it will get a lot better.
But it's also one of those things that, like, if it's not diagnosed and you don't make changes, you could suffer liver failure, and you're gonna have a bad day if that happens.
Facts.
So
yeah, pay attention to your body. It's when it's trying to tell you shit like that, especially this day and age right now with the COVID and everything else. Like, you know, pay attention to what your body's telling you and get it checked out.
Yep. Yesterday was the finale of the Dexter New Blood series. Now, I don't think you're much of a Dexter person, right? Have you ever watched any of that series?
No, I'll tell you what, it's of shows like that, it's not the worst. It's just that I really don't have time to sit through a lot of those shows.
It's a lot, you know. Every season's like 10 episodes, an hour long each, so it's time that you got to dedicate. But Kristen and I, we've been huge into Dexter since, like, you know, the early 2010s. And we were watching the show pretty religiously. The finale sucked of the original series. Pretty much everybody felt that way. So as kind of part of making amends with the fans, they created this new series that kind of picked up 8 years later, and they tried to end it on a better note. And the finale was yesterday. Without giving any spoilers, the whole season was good. I'm a little torn on the finale myself. Kristen loved it, but I'm still trying to reconcile with it. But
so it was only they only did like a one shot Johnny with this.
More than likely, it's only going to be the one season. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, It definitely ended better than the original series did. I will give them that. So they washed out that bad taste, thank God.
So is it something that if you hadn't watched Dexter before,
Mm-hmm.
can you sit down and watch this series without having previously watched Dexter and still enjoy
Not
it?
not really.
Really?
No. Yeah,
That's a shame.
yeah, too many callbacks. You'd watch the first 2 or 3 episodes and you'd be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Really?
Because yeah, so much of it is like unspoken stuff that you just assume as a fan of the original series.
Oh, okay.
So,
So,
you'd miss a lot.
okay, I gotcha.
So, anywho, moving on. I worked all weekend. This was my one weekend that I have to work every month, so I didn't really get to do a lot of extracurricular stuff. But I have been still jumping on to Battlefront 2015, and I tell you what, man, fucking 7 years later, the maps are still firing. Like I have hopped on randomly over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I think, and have never had a problem finding a match. Immediately hopped into a match every single time. That just shows how good that fucking game is. 7 years later, a new console generation later, people are still hopping onto that. So yeah, Battlefront 1, the 2015 version of Battlefront, the blast maps, they're perfect. They're perfect, and I'm still gonna keep playing. If you ever want to play with me, just look for @Darth on the Xbox. Hit me up, and
he really needs to Twitch stream when he gets on. By the by.
Well, yeah, I just need to kind of plan it out a little bit because most of the time when I do it, it's only for like 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, I know that's the tough part. Like I think we mentioned it last week where you had jumped on real quick, and for me, it takes as long to get situated and get logged in.
Mm-hmm.
And once we get synced up, 20 minutes has passed. And, if you only have time to sit down for like 1 or 2 maps, then, that's tough.
Yep.
So that is the one drawback to Battlefront 2015 is it does take a long time to get into the maps.
Well, that's on older systems. On the Xbox Sex, damn near immediate.
Yeah, fuck you on your Xbox Sex.
Well, you just need to get one already.
Find me one.
All right. If I find you one, then you have to give me the $600 and I'll buy it for you, and then we'll make the swap.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, that's my week. And go.
So, what happened this weekend? Well, I don't remember what happened this week. This week was recovery week from from my COVID excursion. I don't want to dwell on that, but Saturday was my 23rd wedding anniversary. So
nice.
23 years of wedded bliss to my lovely wife, Kathleen, who puts up with my bullshit.
How she's done it for 23 years, I have no idea. She's a fucking saint.
Either. She is frankly a saint. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And yeah, and I also, I not only won the lottery with that, but we got married on her birthday. So I only have to remember one date. So it's the fucking best.
Yeah.
So we're, Saturday, it's with COVID and everything. We haven't really, we weren't able to go out or do anything. So got her some gifts, and we took down Christmas stuff and did some driving around, ran some errands, just spent the day together. So it was nice, but all the running around and doing that stuff kind of ran myself into the ground.
As you tend to do sometimes.
Yeah.
You overextend and then you pay for it.
Yep. And then yesterday I doubled down because why should I rest when I could fucking do it again the next day? And yeah, so I'm still recovering a little bit from the weekend, sadly. And I know Lunar Girl can attest to this. Like, this weather is like, for people with fibromyalgia, this is like the worst weather ever. Like this hand in particular, like it, like all my muscle, it's just awful. Existence is pain. So I'm
starting to learn that.
Yeah.
I hit 45 and now those
funny
little moments are starting to catch up to me.
Yeah, see? Welcome to my world, Jason.
Welcome to my world.
It's a lot of fun.
Won't you come on in?
But you have to be alive to feel pain. So
built with you in mind.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know.
Wow.
No idea.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've been teleworking this week, and I wore the sweatpants I'm wearing right now. Like I'm Penn Stated out for some reason today, but I have these Penn State sweatpants I got from last couple weeks ago when I was in state college. They're my favorite things ever. Like, and because I'm teleworking, I'm in sweatpants. I'm in these sweatpants every fucking day. It is the best. It's the best part about teleworking. It's just fucking.
We're really starting to show our age when like one of the highlights of your week is, oh, I got these cool sweatpants.
Right.
They're awesome.
Well, and it's too fucking cold to like. I would just to keep the house to like a balmy 72 degrees, but it's like it would require way too much energy to keep the house that warm. So I've got my little space heater, and that way I can sit here without a sweatshirt on. But yeah, it's sweatpants, man. Just chilling. It's the one advantage of a telework, and wake up, fucking wash my ass, put some sweatpants on, and then come down.
So on a telework day, do you still take 2-hour showers, or do you like shorten those at all?
No, same showers. I just get up.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about the commute time, so I can get up a little bit later.
Oh, so you could do longer showers.
I could if I wanted to, but then I'd be interrupting everyone else's time. Hollywood showers are a necessity. I'm just saying that.
All right, fair enough,
dude. So while I was teleworking today, trying to take care of some lodge stuff concurrently. And we're dealing with this fucking bank. And here we go. Prepare for the fucking... Boy. Here's this bank rant I was alluding to earlier. So we truncated silence is going to take that out. I'm sorry. I need to put my thoughts together for this, and not fucking completely...
So why don't we start from the beginning?
So fuck off. So we switched banks at the lodge, right? And I was against it from the beginning. But we did it. Whatever. It was a vote. I lost. So we switched. Cool, right? Whatever. So the guy who locally, there was this thing called Commerce Bank, right? And it was a big fucking bank, and they merged with TD Bank, which is, everyone, there's a TD Bank. It's a nationwide bank based out of Canada. So TD Bank basically bought out all the commerce banks and turned it into a fucking, just no customer service or anything else. Just awful, right? I do all my banking through USAA, so I never deal with terrestrial banking. But, for like nonprofits and shit like that, I have to deal with it. So anyway, we switched banks, and it just been nonstop. Fucking every time we like go to do something, it's like, oh well, you can't make that many deposits. Like, it's a business account, and every time we try and do something as a business, it's acting like I opened up a fucking savings account.
Right.
At a savings and loan as a fucking 8-year-old. Like, I want to go, like, I want to go fucking spend money. Like, we're buying something for the lodge, as part of this, this renovation we're doing. And we need to go buy this piece of, this thing. We need to spend that money. Like, and we have that money. So, all right, I get it, right? Cool. So, it's over $5,000 or whatever. So if you're gonna make me call, it's over $5,000, and you're trying to protect the account. So, you would think, or the bank will call me and say, hey, so you're trying to spend this money. Is that okay? You go, yeah, absolutely. That's me. This is the situation, and the transaction goes through, right? Wrong. No, absolutely not. I would have to call the bank, right? Call the central banking area. Then they ask me where my home branch is, so that I can be connected with the home branch. Then at the home branch, they make a phone call to somebody else. to authorize the transaction, and then I sit down and wait for that to get approved for 90 minutes.
What the fuck?
For them to fucking approve that transaction. Like, this is a business account. Like, how do you fucking conduct business that way? Like, you know what? It has nothing to do with, I get it. You're trying to fucking, like, if it's a fraud prevention thing, or if it's something with, with the transactions or whatever, like, I get it. But here's the thing. Those stops are in place for the banks. Those stops are in place because the bank doesn't want you to take out that money, because banks are making money off of your money, right? They make money because they're making loans, right? That's how they make money.
Yeah.
They need your money so they can loan your money to other people to make money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how banking works. So this entire thing doesn't work if you're spending your money. Right. So they put these arbitrary fucking limits in there to keep you from fucking spending your money and make it just giant ass pain. Like, the entire fucking system is so fucked. It's so fucked. It drives me fucking insane. Just, don't tell me it's for my fucking protection or the protection of my account. That's fucking bullshit. Because if that was the case, then you would fucking call me and say, hey, somebody's trying to use this account with your card. I'm like, yes, that's me. I'm trying to use this account. Okay, verified with whatever. And okay, boom, transaction goes through.
That should be it. That should be the extent of it.
Done.
Yeah.
Fucking end of transaction. No. 90 minutes later, we get our fucking approval. Meanwhile, I had somebody at a location that was on their lunch break to go do this, because this is a nonprofit with volunteers. They're volunteering their time to go fucking do this. And now they've wasted their entire lunch waiting for this fucking phone call that never came. So they had to leave. And it's just, it blows my fucking mind that a corporation like this that advertises itself as being so customer service friendly, like,
yeah,
but you can do that. You can totally be that for a regular fucking non-commercial bank user. Like, fucking Joe Schmo comes in, fucking open a checking account to do his normal shit. 100%. Be that guy. You can be that bank. But when you have a commercial fucking account with, hundreds of thousands of dollars in an account that's with transactions going back and forth, limiting the amount I can fucking mobile deposit, like, that was a huge fucking shit show, right? Limiting the transactions I can fucking make with a goddamn card. Like, getting deposit slips was a fucking this excursion into fucking, like, why we should have never fucking switched this bank. We should have never. And that's internal to my organization. But at the same time, once we did it, it's just some banks just were not meant to do fucking commercial work, and this was one of them. And I'm not saying that this bank and TD Bank is any better or whatever, but I guarantee you that banks, somebody that does work in a commercial world, they're not having people sit for fucking 90 minutes waiting on a transaction.
Right.
There's no fucking way. Like, you can't do business that way.
No.
So
no.
Anyway, I'm just fucking that shit pissed me off. And I was in the middle of my fucking workday, so I'm trying to do normal work and also try and take care of this, which leads me to another fucking fuck you. Get two rants for one, people.
Yeah, it's a special episode.
So I upgraded to the iPhone 13, right? I got the 13 Pro.
Yep.
I don't know how long I've had it. Before Christmas, probably. I think just before, like a week or two before Christmas, we did the upgrade. Right? Mm-hmm. Been using it. Love the camera. Well, it's been a good phone. No issues. All that's great. Right? Except yesterday or Sunday rather, I'm actually making mobile deposits for for the lodge, and the fucking camera freezes up. Like, oh, that's really weird, right? So what's going on, right? I close the camera out, go to open it. I get a message from fucking Apple saying that, we don't recognize the camera as being an Apple. Unable to verify this iPhone has a genuine Apple camera.
Are you fucking shitting me?
I shit you not. I went from doing this, taking a picture of a fucking check, to suddenly this decided to reject its own fucking parts.
Wow.
And throw a message at me like, oh, hey, you got fucking shit that's not Apple.
So you cracked open your phone, you pulled out the old camera, and you put a new one in.
Right. Yep.
Is what they're telling you.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, with a brand new phone. So I tried rebooting the phone, and
that's the price of not having an inclusive phone, Dave.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's not as inclusive as the Pixel. So
yeah, thanks, Supergirl. So okay, fine. The phone's fucked up. Most of the people on the internet say they went and got the phone they swapped it out, right? Trying to make an appointment to fucking go get my phone looked at. Saturday is the earliest one. Now the camera it's not a big deal. This is still going to function as a phone because that's right. This is what this is.
That'd be a deal breaker for me, dude. I use my camera all the fucking time for some like weird random shit every single day.
Every single day. And why do I have a 13 Pro? For the fucking camera.
Yeah.
For the fucking camera. And the idea that like Apple stores and I'm going to a Best Buy in fucking Philly to get this fixed on a Saturday.
Jesus.
Like that's to go and get this looked at. And you know what they're going to do? They're probably going to tell me it has to get sent somewhere. That's probably what they're going to tell me.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them to go fuck themselves because I'm not sending it anywhere. So I'm just so pissed off with these fucking corporations and their fucking lack of customer service because nobody apparently they just make money without actually having customer service. People just throw money at them. They don't fucking care. So they don't have to actually look at you and go like, oh, you know what? We care about you being a customer and we care about your business. So we're going to treat you like a decent human being. No, they're like, no, you already gave us your money. Go fuck yourself.
Pretty much.
And you're going to give us more money because fuck you.
Yep. And it's funny you mentioned that too, because just this morning, I don't know if you can see this on the thing, I dropped my phone. So I got a nice big fucking crack in the bottom. This is an iPhone 8, by the way. And I've been due for an upgrade for a while, but I'm like, I'm just going to run this phone into the fucking ground. I'm going to keep it until it stops working because it's been great for me this whole time since I got it.
Spend $127 at the Deffert Mall and they'll fucking put a screen on it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Dude.
I may have to do that because I still love this phone. It works just fine for me. But so what happened was, this is what happened.
You see what happened was?
I get up this morning. I start my oatmeal because part of my recovering from my liver disease is eating a lot of oats, like raw oats with raw fruit mixed in. I start my oatmeal in the microwave, and I'm like, oh, I should start the heat in the studio. This is like 7 this morning. I come in here, I crank on all the heat and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, why is this unplugged? And I'm dealing with this, and then all of a sudden I have this realization, fuck, I left the microwave going with oatmeal. And if anybody who makes oatmeal in the microwave a lot knows, if you leave it in too long, it's a mess. So I sprint back into the house, my phone flies out of my pocket and just fucking slams on the ground. I'm like, shit. And that's what happened. So
you don't use a case.
No, why would I do that?
I can't imagine.
I've had this phone for like 5 years. I haven't needed a case before today.
Right.
So
dude,
whatever.
Don't take it to the. I'll find the name of the place in the mall. I went there. It was bang bang, in and out. Fucking worked great. Get to watch them do the whole thing. It's easy day.
Sweet.
But
anyway, sorry to interrupt your week there.
No. Rant's complete.
Okay.
For those of you who may be new to the podcast, the Dave ranting. This is kind of where I come to do some of that. So, and there will not be holding back.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's just therapy for us.
Yeah,
doing this.
So back to the iPhone, and the OtterBoxes are okay. I don't think OtterBox actually makes the mouse, MOUS, makes very, very good cases.
Yeah.
I highly recommend those cases. I'm not a paid spokesperson for it, but I can tell you that those cases, they're extremely rugged. They have a lifetime guarantee. And every time I've had an issue with one, I've sent it back and they've sent me a brand new one. And I just haven't bought one for the new iPhone yet, just because I've been lazy, honestly. And I should have bought it probably because there was sales on Christmas. I just suck. But yeah, MOUS. They're actually, the cases are fucking brilliant. It saved my old phone. It saved it hundreds of times, of times, dude. Falling out of golf carts, like going full speed. Falling off of ladders, like onto pavement. Yeah, that dude, brilliant. Nice. Anyway. And the last thing I'll mention is I saw your lovely wife at Costco this weekend.
Ah, yes.
Because my wife and I became Costco members, so we are now a part of that. Whatever you want to call it.
It's an exclusive club. We'll just say
it is an exclusive club, and the irony is that I had a Costco membership back in like 2000, something like that. Back when we were, I was at 757 maintenance school, and we were out in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
And it was a Costco out there.
They hadn't come to New Jersey at that point.
No, but the place was fucking brilliant, and we loved it. So, like, for our group, we had a Costco membership, and we would go in there all the time and buy shit because we were out there for 3 months. Yeah. So we did everything at Costco, and it was fucking great. So, yeah, we're back in there. It was kind of like one of my anniversary presents is like, you know what? Sam's Club is literally a driver and a fucking wedge away from my house, across the creek. And I just was like, I want a Costco membership.
Yeah, Costco's a better company anyway, because Sam's Club, that's owned by Walmart, so
yeah,
fuck that company.
Again, Walmart's even closer. I can hit a fucking 7-iron to Walmart.
Yeah.
But Costco's a little bit of a drive. However, I'll be 100% honest. Like, I'm looking around. Don't tell anybody. Costco has these Kirkland brand golf balls that are like, they've measured, like, they're basically, they went, tit for tat with some of the real high speed golf balls, and they were like right there with them.
Yeah.
And so there was a guy that did this on YouTube, some independent study, and as soon as this thing hit YouTube, fucking Costco sells out of the fucking golf balls.
They had a run on golf balls.
Oh yeah, it would fucking gone. I'm like, shit. Helmet Fire, I'll tell you, I found out about it. I came back from my golf trip last year, and a buddy of mine had told me, and he had through his Costco membership, he looked it up for me, and they were like, gone. You couldn't get them online, couldn't get them anywhere. So we were in Costco, for our inaugural fucking shopping trip, and they had a whole pallet of fucking golf balls. I'm like, yes, worth every penny. I don't care if I go there ever again.
Wow,
I got my golf balls.
Awesome. All right, so, very good.
I'm done. I'm done. There was a full week.
Sounds like it.
And I'm done.
Okay. Do you need a break or anything before we get into our main topic?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, then let's jump right into it, because we have Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 2. If you recall, last time we talked about this show, Dave and I were a little lukewarm on the first episode, had some issues. It wasn't bad, did not dislike it, but also didn't blow us like you would think that it would. So, you forgot to say away.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was looking for.
No, so I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on this next episode, because I feel like it was better. I definitely think it was better than last week, though I do have some issues. The main thing being they're spending an awful lot of time on the fucking sand people part.
Right.
I wrote it down. This episode was 46 to 48 minutes long, depending on if you include the credits and all that. 12 minutes of it was current time Boba being the new Jabba, whereas 34 minutes was sand people flashbacks.
All right.
So we're talking like 3/4 of the episode was Sand People stuff.
So, and I don't have a problem necessarily with the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders, and his interaction with the villagers, because I think this is part of the how did we get here, right? This is just a continuation of getting out of the Sarlacc pit, and how do we get Boba back, basically. So that's not my problem with these episodes.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with. I think the stuff with the Tusken Raiders this time actually it felt more legitimate, if that makes sense. Like,
sure.
it seemed like there was more rationale to it. Like,
yeah,
okay, it's not just him being dragged through the fucking sand for
20 minutes. Yeah.
There's actually there was actually some rhyme and reason to it. Aside from having a fucking lizard climb through your nose, what? Okay, couldn't just do drugs. Got to have a fucking.
It was symbolism, really. It was kind of symbolizing the whole Native American just getting high on peyote around the campfire.
Right.
But instead, it was in the form of a nose lizard.
Sure, but I honestly could we just have done this? Could we just have started with this and not necessarily had to have had like the 12 minutes of what's going on with the Jabba's cousin twins and all that other bullshit?
So, like, you saying, like, do like the first few episodes of the series as just his time with the fucking Sand People, and then move into current times?
Yeah, I mean, because I understand this, the methodology of the storytelling, right? It's like, okay, we saw him in The Mandalorian, so we're tying the timelines together. Okay, cool. You can do that in the first episode, and then you can kind of take this, you can. Here's the next 2 or 3 episodes where it just takes place with the Sand People, and then get to the point where he gets the armor back, and then we kind of fast forward. But now that we're trying to track 2 fucking storylines here, and I think it's disconnecting us from what's going on with the Hutts. I want to be more interested right now in what's happening with the Tusken Raiders, like stealing the speeders, and I've really enjoyed him going into the fucking bar and beating the fuck out of those the
biker gang with the leather jackets and all, which was pretty hilarious.
I enjoyed that. And he goes in there and he gets some fucking, Terminator style, and goes in and gets some fucking bikes. Don't know why.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
I don't know why he didn't get clothes. That blew my mind. I'm like, dude, you're wearing your fucking pajamas. They still probably stink to high heaven from fucking Sarlacc stomach juice.
Yeah.
And you had all these fucking clothes. Nah, fuck it. I'm just going to keep wearing my jammies and just fucking go. But yeah, like Alan's bringing up in the chat, about the twins. I don't have a problem with that storyline either. I want one storyline to follow right now. And I want that storyline told really well, and then we can kind of get to the other one.
Yeah.
I don't splitting up this thing and now trying to follow this other one while this is happening, and while he's getting in the back the tank. I don't know. I feel like it's there's too much of a divide.
Yeah, and I feel that too. And I think what's eventually going to happen, again, trusting Favreau and Filoni, I think this whole series is going to be the sum of its parts, and some of the individual parts aren't going to like flow very well until we have the whole bigger picture, which
right.
I think once we do, it's all going to make a lot more sense and be easier to follow. But yeah, this first go around, jumping back and forth, and again, the lack of an even time between the two, like 1/4 of the fucking episode is current times, while as a majority of it is the flashback. It's like there's no consistency there, and the whole time I'm waiting for this flashback to end and then to go back and be like, all right, now what's he going to do about the fucking Hutt twins and all that? And it never happened.
Yeah. And that was super anticlimactic, right? It was you show up in the fucking bar, and Hot Twi'lek fucking Mama-san is like all nervous because the twins are in town.
Yeah.
And then you have this showdown. You have this huge reveal.
Oh right? Yeah. Which we're gonna get to that when we kind of start going sequentially through. But
let's get to your notes, because otherwise we're gonna bounce all over the place like bouncers would.
All right. So the show starts off. First of all, this is titled "The Tribes of Tatooine," which I feel.
Hang on, whoa. I've seen plenty of Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
The difference between a Tarantino movie and this is that I'm not waiting a week to watch the rest of a Tarantino movie.
Right. You get it all in your 2.5 hour sitting.
This is not a Netflix special where I can sit there and binge the whole thing. This is not Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to write something like this, I think what I'm trying to say is if I could sit there and binge the whole thing, then yeah, it probably would make a lot more sense because I'd be watching a really long movie.
Yeah.
But this is not what we have, and we're being fed this piecemeal. And I think that's why, for me, and I think for a lot of others, I think that's why there's a little bit of a continuity issue.
Mm-hmm. Though I can remember walking out of that theater in 94, after watching Pulp Fiction and going, what the fuck did I just watch? And then realizing after letting it soak in for a while, like, that's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. But
4 times. I saw that 4 times in the theater.
No shit. Awesome. Anyway, so the show is titled The Tribes of Tatooine, which kind of makes sense, and it's sort of alluded to later on with the Sand People that there's multiple tribes of Sand People out there. We start off walking up to Jabba's palace, right? That fucking dingleberry that Fennec caught at the end of the last episode, that they wanted alive, one of the would-be assassins that didn't know how to assassinate. She's marching him up, and it looks just like fucking Return of the Jedi, especially when you get that inner shot of the palace and the fucking door opening. That's like damn near shot for shot from fucking Return of the Jedi. Looked great recreation. Like, I don't know if that was all practical or if it was CG or what, but it looked phenomenal.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. It looked fucking great.
Yeah, fantastic. We find out this guy is from the Order of the Nightwind, which, as far as I can tell, is a brand new syndicate within the current Star Wars canon. They're like assassins for hire, as they were described. Which Fennec, I love her response was, "You're paying for the name, basically."
Right.
Like they're overpriced.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and we get this moment, and I'm about to go into a sidebar here, but we get this moment where they're trying to get information out of the guy. He's not talking. He's being a tough guy. They kick him into the Rancor pit, and all of a sudden he's like, wait, it was the mayor. He hired me. As I'm watching some recaps on YouTube and reading reviews of this episode, so many people are referencing that fucking Rancor that they got in the Bad Batch, as if it was a separate Rancor from the one that Luke killed in Return of the Jedi. They're like, well, we all know that Jabba had the other Rancor that we saw in the Bad Batch. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure we were led to believe that that was the Rancor that Bib Fortuna was after in the fucking Bad Batch. You remember that when they got the baby Rancor? Omega gave it some fucking name, like Scratchy or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, I'm just like, that's the same one. But everybody out there seems to think that Jabba has 2 fucking Rancors now. I'm like, are you following the timeline the way I am? Because, yeah.
I guess maybe for me, I don't care what those other idiots think. I haven't looked at any of that extra shit, honestly, because I feel like they... Moochie, there you go.
Yeah.
Red 4's got it. I don't give a shit, because I think some people they're just saying shit just to get fun. It's clickbaity and just get people riled up. And I watch Nick. It happens to Nick all the fucking time. He'll fucking start going down this rabbit hole just to tell people what fucking idiots they are.
I can't do that. I can't engage with people in that kind of capacity. Like, that's what we have the show for.
Yeah, exactly.
But we get this awesome overhead panning shot of Mos Espa. It kind of like it's one sort of a flat area, and then we go over the hill into the main like meat of the city, and just beautiful overhead shot. It's all CG, obviously, but it looked fucking fantastic.
Looks like a drone shot almost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking when I saw that. And then they go into the mayor's office. These characters that are surrounding the mayor. We talked about last week the fucking Twi'lek that talks really. He talks like an American human on Earth,
right?
Not like anybody we would see in a Star Wars movie. And then we run into this fucking receptionist. Same kind of thing, dude with like this thick ass 70s mustache. Well, do you have an appointment? And I don't know, just these characters that this mayor surrounds himself with are fucking weird.
I think they deliberately dressed him up like he wasn't an Oompa Loompa, but he was the guy at the gate for the Wizard of Oz. That's what he reminded me of.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, just very, very odd cast of characters in the mayor's office. And the mayor himself is one of those hammerhead Ithorians. Is that the name of the species?
That's
the hammerhead species.
I'm gonna go yes.
Yeah, he's got the fucking translator, which I thought was actually really cool.
I thought that was cool as well. Rather than going through a protocol droid, actually having a translator just built in real time.
Yeah, we had some really cool back and forth between Boba and the mayor, and sort of you felt the tension there, and then the mayor made a fucking pretty funny comment. Well, not funny, but pretty telling comment. He's like, running a family is more complicated than bounty hunting. Because it's very clear at this point that Boba might be a little bit in over his head.
Yeah.
With this whole like mob family thing.
Well, yeah, and that's the fucking Fennec keeps trying to tell him the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not, God, you can't just fucking roll around like this. You're going to have to fucking start kicking some ass here.
Mm. Yeah, and he's resisting that for some reason, which I think it's got to be something tied into his time with the Sand People, because how does he go from the Boba Fett that we know in Empire and Return of the Jedi, where he really gives no fucks, where all of a sudden he seems very compassionate and in a very short period of time? And I don't know, it's odd. It's an odd character turn, but I'm sure we're going to get some kind of explanation as we go.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll get an explanation. I think early Dave Martin point of view is when you live a life of revenge, right, for the entire time, you're trying to avenge the death of your father, because it keeps going back to this flashback of him holding his father's helmet in his hands.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have it's just this release of, okay, going and seeking revenge for the entirety of my life is not what's going to make me a whole person. I have to look for something bigger than that.
Yeah, and because we know even from a little kid he had that anger, because what we did see in the Clone Wars with him trying to kill Mace Windu, and he was a little shit from the start. So definitely having some major character development here. Anyway, they go back into the other cantina, the clean cantina, and the flesh-colored Twi'lek is there again. Which, by the way, we forgot to point out last week. That's Jennifer Beals of Flashdance. Is that the tall flesh-colored Twi'lek?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
nice.
Yeah, we totally forgot to mention that last week. Huh. But this is the point where you were talking about, where now she's all nervous because the Hutt twins are in town.
Right.
And we get this. It's actually, I thought this scene was really fucking cool, where you hear the ominous like drum beats as the litter, as they call it, is being carried in with the Hutts on it.
Right.
And
it was that was the whole, like, that was the payoff for all the litter comments.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We spent an episode and a half talking about the litter.
Yeah, I don't want to litter. I'm going to walk and blah, blah, blah. And then the Twi'lek in this episode said, "Oh, I didn't hear your litter come up," or whatever.
Right, exactly. And now we hear what that would sound like. With the litter approaching.
Yeah, but it was like super ominous with that slow drum beat. As they walk outside, and you can hear it kind of getting closer and closer until you see where they come around that corner, and it's the two Hutts on top of that the litter. And Yeah, it's a couple of CG huts look pretty much like we've come to expect huts to look like in current Star Wars.
So I think that was deliberate. Like I got an impression that the that it was a like, okay, this is how we've seen the huts in the past. We're
Mhm.
not going to try extra hard to make the huts look more realistic,
Right.
right?
Because, yeah, unfortunately, we've seen more CG huts in Star Wars up to this point than practical effects.
Right.
So you might as
So,
well just go with that.
yeah, just exactly. Just okay, this is don't don't overdo it. This is one of those times when it doesn't make sense to, go overboard with something. These are giant fucking slugs.
Yeah,
Let's
because
just animate them like you've seen it before and
and
go with it.
honestly, I think with the big reveal that we get during this scene, it just the contrast between them and what we see a few minutes later really helps emphasize. And we'll just say it now. After some back and forth between Boba and the Hutts, we see coming out from behind them the fucking Wookiee bounty hunter Black Kyrgyzstan, who we've talked about in if you go way back to the first year of the podcast when we were talking about the Star Wars comic, the comic that was labeled Star Wars.
Yeah.
Black Kyrgyzstan was in that. Vader hired him for a couple of jobs. He worked with Jabba, so we knew of him. And as soon as I saw him come on screen, I'm like, "Fuck, it's him!"
Yeah.
And he looked fucking awesome.
That was, I mean, this is not the Baby Yoda reveal, but this was a big reveal for us. This was a big nerd reveal, from a Star Wars perspective, because you really wondered, like, holy shit, how is this going to play out?
Yeah,
like, with him in the picture now.
Yeah,
how is this going to play out?
Yeah, he looked bad fucking ass, super intimidating. Like
Yeah.
he looks so much more menacing than he even does in the comics.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, because he looks buff as opposed to, the Wookiee version in the comics looked like a Wookiee. He looked like Chewbacca, just black.
just like painted a different color.
Right.
No, dude, this guy is fucking massive. He is jacked and he looks fucking mean.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's all roided up.
Yeah.
He's got the HGH going.
Yeah, and I am really curious to see where they go with this because, yeah, I love this fucking character. And I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked that they chose to put him into this show because they don't really do that a whole lot with a lot of this extra canon stuff, the comic book characters and some of the novel characters. You'll get little hints here and there, but I don't think that they've ever fully fleshed out a character like this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe with Thrawn.
But it kind of makes sense, right? Because how do the Hutts maintain their level of fear?
Yeah.
Right. They have guys like this. They have guys like Boba Fett. They have this muscle. Because how intimidating is a giant slug, right?
Right, yeah, because I'm not afraid of getting into a fight with either of those twins. But this fucking Wookiee, I will steer clear him at every corner.
I got a bag of Himalayan sea salt in my fucking back pocket that I'm going to throw at these goddamn Hutts.
Pocket salt.
Suck! Right? Then start watching them hiss down and fucking get a chain around their goddamn necks.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, fucking awesome scene. And basically the Hutts themselves de-escalated the situation. They're like, we'll deal with this later. Violence is it's bad for business, which was a great fucking line too.
Right. I guess there's at some point where you're like, that's an interesting, that in and of itself, is anticlimactic as it was, is an interesting, like, okay, if they're going to go feel out, all right, this dude shows up, takes over Jabba's stuff. Let's see if we can just intimidate him straight away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that didn't work. Let's go figure out, like, what our strategy is going to be to go ahead and take him out, because he's obviously he thinks this is legit. So let's go ahead and fucking actually get a real battle rhythm together.
He thinks it's a real fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, but that's the thing with me. Like, I didn't find this anticlimactic at all. Like, I loved this whole fucking opening scene. in the current times, this is where the disconnect comes for me when it went from this, where I'm like amped up. I'm like, oh, fuck, we got Black Kyrgyzstan. What's going to happen with these fucking huts? I'm waiting to see what the next part of this storyline is. And that's when we go to the Sand People for the rest of the episode. So that was where my disappointment came in. Again, nothing against the whole Sand People storyline. I understand what they're doing with it and I appreciate it, but they got me all fucking hyped up and then just like, nope, you're done with that for the week.
Yeah. So. Like I said, as far as the anticlimactic bit, it was the more anticlimactic, the fact that they de-escalated it, so much.
Yeah. There was no shootout or anything.
Right. Exactly. It wasn't, some big, like, epic shootout.
But that's coming.
Oh, it's got to. 9 episodes or 9 books of chapters of Boba in this season.
Yeah.
There's got to be blood at some point.
Oh yeah. Especially like if we're getting involved with the Pikes and whoever else. Oh yeah. So speaking of which, Boba goes into the Bacta tank, and now we're back to Flashback City. So we know as soon as you see him in the Bacta tank,
right?
It's Sand People time. So it flashes back, and it starts off where he's now kind of part of the tribe, but he definitely still seems like he's sort of lower ranking in the tribe. So they've allowed him in, but he's still got to earn that respect. And he's doing a bunch of training, and he's getting his ass kicked doing this gaffy stick training. And he's got like it's like a training stick where the other guy's got like a full on gaffy stick, and he's beating the fuck out of him. And can I just say, I love this. And who'd have thought that different Sand People could have personalities? But the shorter guy with the dreadlocks, like that Sand person, that dude's awesome. The guy that's doing a majority of his like training and everything. Something about that guy, like I love that.
Well, yeah, person. It's that sequence. He's got this predator look to him.
Yes, exactly, and that's exactly what I was thinking as I'm watching that.
And then that sequence where he's with the train, where he's kind of coming from that angle, and he just jumps off the bike into the fucking carriage. It's a cool sequence. Yeah, the one in black is a chick, according to General Shinobi.
Oh, no shit.
Nice. Which explains the dreads, I guess, but. Regardless, it's a great character. I like the what the fuck? Oh, it's eggplant parmesan is in the chat. That's what that is.
Okay.
Not dick cheese. It's eggplant parmesan.
What the fuck are you talking about? This is what happens when we go live on YouTube. We get derailed by the fucking chat talking about dick cheese. Like, where did that come from? Why are we talking about that right now?
It's Dragon Buddy's fault. Anyway.
All right. So yeah, no, the dreadlocked, apparently female Tusken Raider kicks major fucking ass in this episode. And I really like him and or her.
Right.
Because how dare we assume her gender?
Exactly. Anyway.
Yeah. So after a little while of him training, that's when we see the fucking the train kept rolling through this fucking the long speeder train blows through their territory as the Tuskens are trying to defend. It just fucking kills a bunch of them, and they're all like down, like, oh, they rolled through again and killed our fucking people.
Now, when they played that initial sound, did you think?
It sounded like an animal at first, right?
Didn't it sound initially like what Obi-Wan uses to scatter the Tusken Raiders?
Yeah,
yeah, like the Krayt Dragon noise, and that's initially what I thought we were going to see. But then as I'm watching it come towards us, I'm like, "Fuck, that thing's moving fast."
Yeah,
and then it comes to that it's a train. I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." And then Dragon Buddies says, go check the in chat and Discord. You can see the original posting. Why I was derailed in the first place.
Right. So yeah, but the train blows through, and that's when when Boba decides, all right, we're gonna fucking do something about this train. He's like, I'm gonna go get some shit, because he sees the fucking biker gang, and this is the gang that we saw raiding that fucking moisture farm last episode.
Yes.
We saw their same fucking symbol on the bikes. So he sees them blowing through the desert. He's like, I'll be right back. And he goes to the fucking bar. So this is I appreciate callbacks and Easter eggs and things like that. But I don't get this the Easter egg that they threw in here. It's so there's an old deleted scene from A New Hope where a bunch of Luke's friends over in fucking Mos Eisley or whatever are chilling,
Right.
and he's got these two friends, a male and a female, where they brought those characters back in this episode. They're just like two putzes sitting in a fucking bar. They get their asses handed to them by these fucking bikers, and that's it. Barely any dialogue. They're just a couple of pussies who just like let these bikers walk all over them.
It's not right. Man, it's not fair.
And everybody afterwards like, oh my God, I can't believe they brought these characters back and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why are you so excited?
Like it was cool, but I didn't know that was what that was.
I didn't either until after the fact.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I get it.
Yeah. But rewatching it, those characters were pointless. And unless they're going to bring them back in some capacity later on in one of these flashbacks, I'm like, what was the purpose of that?
And look, we have these in every episode of every show we've ever watched, right? Especially in Star Wars, there's all these extraneous callbacks and getting famous people. You know, Simon Pegg being in the fucking, one of the costumes for
Unkar Plot, right?
Yeah, Unkar Plot. There you go. So I don't really care. It's an interesting callback. I think more interesting is the deleted scene, from A New Hope.
Yeah,
that's a more interesting conversation because there's a lot of stuff that happens in that scene. It's really not about these characters, but whatever. Good on him. Fucking get these people out of hiding or wherever the fuck they were. I'm sure that dude was probably washing cars or doing something.
Well, it's not the same actors. They had to recast the thing because, again, New Hope was 40-something years ago.
Oh, well.
And these two are fairly young in this. But I digress. That was an interesting little callback that they threw in there, but it did not blow my mind as much as it did other people's.
Can I sidebar real quick and just say that I know why we're remoting this week, and it's not my fault this week. It's your household this week. But I have it. I see a part of one of the sacred pops.
The sacred pops.
And I'm like, I wanted to see the pops this week. I have pops to add to the collection. They're in my car. And I was just like, I was really looking forward to seeing the sacred pops this week.
Well, hopefully by next week, both households will be virus free and we can reconvene in person.
That would be nice. Because I missed the pops. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Proceed.
Yeah, so Boba goes in. He fucking just rolls over these bikers. He beats the shit out of them, steals their fucking speeders. They get back. There's a really funny moment where he gets back with the fucking speeders. All the sand people like gather around him, and then they immediately just start trying to loot the fucking speeders. It's like, wait. They just start trying to take them apart and fucking salvage them for different things.
It's a little weird, the possessive part, right? So he's like, I'm giving these to you as a gift. And then he turns around and is like, no, they're mine. Like, wait. Didn't you just offer them as a gift? Can we talk about the fact that fucking Boba Fett can walk a really long distance without any fucking hydration issues? Like the motherfucker. I mean,
he carries a lot of black melons apparently.
Either the black melons or like just speed and distance. Like the deserts are huge. Mm-hmm. We're looking at these deserts; they're fucking huge. There's no that bar was not.
Yeah, it was the bar right over there. Yeah.
No, that was not right over there. They were on fucking speeders for God's sakes, and he walked there.
Well, so that was a thing. Again, we have to suspend our disbelief sometimes in Star Wars. It's just the way it goes.
No.
Yeah. Where after the train heist, the train heist took fucking like 20 minutes and they're blasting through the fucking desert, right? And when it's all over, I look over to Kristen and I'm like, well, now they got to go 100 miles back that way to get to the rest of their people. But their people are just right there. They're like, yeah. It's like, how did that happen?
Where did they come from?
They didn't go in a fucking circle, They were hauling ass in one direction.
Well, since it's probably flat, just like the Earth. So it's probably on a disc that was rotating. So they can get from one side of the disc to the other really fast.
My mistake.
Yeah,
I see where you're
that's
going.
probably what happened there.
Yep. So you talk about the montage. We got one of our montages where he's teaching them how to ride the speeders. We get the fucking
Right.
the 5-minute speeder training montage,
Right.
which whatever.
Gonna have a montage.
Yeah.
Motherfucking montage.
And then we have the train heist scene, which was actually pretty badass. That whole sequence where they're like driving around the train and hopping on and like working their way to the front, and then you see the fucking pikes pop up and start shooting at them. So that's when you realize, like, oh yeah, this is the pikes that are on this. Because I think when you saw them shooting through the windows, you couldn't get a clear view, and it might not even have been like people in the pikes helmets anyway. But yeah, now there was no fucking doubt when they popped out of those fucking hatches and started shooting at him. It's like, ooh,
Yeah, like, oh shit. Yeah.
this shit just got real. And then after they fucking stopped the train, Boba, he made like a makeshift throne. So he's already getting ready for his role. He's like sitting on this fucking throne, drinking a fucking black melon and interrogating these pikes. He's like, who's your leader? And like, are you carrying fucking spice? They're like, spice? What's that?
Yeah, spice. I don't know. Spice.
As two Tuskens immediately spill over a fucking container of spice, the shit splashes all up in their face. I'm like, yo, those guys are about to get fucked up.
I don't know. Like this, there's the spice spillover for me between Dune and Star Wars. You know, because I immediately think, oh well, shit, they should have blue eyes, like intense blue eyes, and fucking blue on blue eyes, like in Dune.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen Dune, so you wouldn't know.
You are correct.
Fucking god damn it. We should. I haven't seen the new Dune yet. I really want to. But yeah, we'll table that.
That's an HBO Max thing, right? You can.
Is it on HBO Max?
It's on one of the streaming services, I thought.
I think it is, because Kathy has asked me a couple times if I wanted to watch it, and I just haven't been in a good sitting and watching a movie mindset. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, at our advanced age, it takes a lot to sit down for an entire 2+ hour movie in one sitting, and most of the time when Kristen and I watch movies, it's got to be in like multiple sittings, just for a normal movie.
I thought you were being facetious. I mean,
No.
For me, I just have trouble sitting still in general.
Yeah.
Like the fact that sitting still long enough doing the podcast is amazing. Like an hour and 22 minutes I've been sitting here.
Yeah.
That's pretty phenomenal.
All right.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
The pikes. So
yes,
they,
the pikes.
he basically tells them, you're running fucking spice. If you want to continue to travel these lands, you got to pay it. You got to pay the troll toll if you want to get into this boy's hole. And you got to pay anytime you want to fucking haul through here, or you're going to feel the wrath of the Tuskens. But he spares their lives. So again, we're seeing that more sensitive side.
Oh, absolutely not. See, and that's the thing. Like, this has nothing to do with the sensitive side. This has everything to do with the fact that he needs these people to be alive to fucking give this message. Mm-hmm. That's what this is. Like, it says, to me, this is that shrewdness of, you talk about him sitting on that throne. This is the developmental piece to him actually being that crime leader, because, yeah, I'm going to let you fuckers live so you can go back and tell, like, how these raiders defeated you. Like, and it's going to seem like they were fucking otherworldly.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to inflate this story, because otherwise, if you go back and say, like, yeah, these bunch of fucking these randos showed up.
Yeah, these fucking desert savages.
Right. They took us out with stolen speeders and fucking sticks. Is that what you're going to say? No, you're going to make it seem like there was this fucking amazing race of fucking tribesmen that, have to be dealt with accordingly, or pay their toll. And so leaving them to be alive and to tell those stories, that I think that's one of those things that has to be done from a storytelling perspective. It's like, yeah, go ahead. I'm letting you live. You'll live in the desert, drink out of your fucking, what'd you call it? The black fucking, the
black melons, because that was revealed as he's telling these guys. They're like, we'll die if we go into the desert. He's like, just you're under the protection of the Tusken Raiders, but we'll be dehydrated. We'll give you each a black melon. That'll be enough hydration for you to get to the fucking town. So that's what they're called. Because I wrote that down when he said that. I'm like, oh, black melon. That's what those things are.
I missed that. But yeah, okay. So somebody should be out there right now canning like like an IPA, a black melon IPA.
Don't talk about IPAs.
All right. Well,
I miss beer.
Well, we can have the can. We can have the can for display purposes.
Sure. I miss drinking. That's all.
That's okay.
Sad face.
It'll get better, Jason.
I hope so.
Trust me.
So yeah, this is where we get into the whole fever dream sequence with the fucking nose lizard. Ugh. So fucking just like skeevy too, just watching the lizard crawl into his fucking nose.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. God.
He handled it well. I mean,
yeah.
And,
well, I mean, it's the least painful thing he's probably been through in the last few weeks or months.
Jesus Christ.
You know, almost getting dissolved in a fucking sand beast's stomach, and then, you know, laying out in the fucking hot sun unprotected and dehydrating and
getting dragged by fucking bantas, you know, for I don't know how countless hours.
Yeah, that we got to watch in real time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that like he handled it well, because really it was probably like the least crazy thing that had happened to him lately. And yeah, he goes into this massive fever dream, which I've watched some recaps and some theories about this afterwards. And one of the things that that Tusken leader said to him is that it'll guide you. This gift will guide you, because he was presenting it as a gift.
Right.
And
so it's like it was. I had this image of like the fucking like the Geico gecko, you know, just kind of like pound along with him and just like leading him to something.
Yeah, like sitting on his shoulder or something.
Yeah.
But no, it just goes right up his fucking nostril into his brain.
Right.
Like fucking Wrath of Khan shit. But yeah, so if you really look into the symbolism of all the flashes and shit that go on during this like dream sequence, which, by the way, we're now dealing with Inception, as this is a flashback in his fucking Bacta tank, and now he's dreaming about a dream that he had in this dream. So
right.
But yeah, it basically is recounting a lot of shit that's happened to him from the time he was a kid, and it's essentially telling him that this bounty hunter path is going to just lead him to the same place that it led his father to, you know, being a foot shorter at the end. And because, you know, there's the one scene where he's holding Django's helmet, and the inside they put the face of Boba Fett. You can see the reflection of Boba Fett's face in there. So it's like you're going to become like your father if you continue on down this path. And ultimately what they theorize is that this was his revelation, that he needs to do something different, not just fucking bounty hunt. But
it's so hard to say that, though. Like, this is the face of your father. Well, it's also the face of fucking millions of other goddamn.
True, but I mean, it was you know, fucked up present day Boba Fett with the bald head and the scarred up face and all that.
Right.
So, but yeah, he comes out of the fucking fever dream with a stick, and he creates his own gaffy stick, which is probably the same one that he used to beat the fuck out of stormtroopers in that second season of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So, because, you know, if you remember back in that episode, he was fucking awesome in that hand-to-hand combat. He was fucking those stormtroopers up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where he learned how to be so awesome. And then we have a little rain dance ceremony with all the fucking Tuskens, and episode over.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Well, and I saw, I think most other people saw it too. Like, what's his nuts? The guy who plays Boba Fett. What's his name?
Tamora Morrison.
That guy. He was talking about how elements of like the gaffy stick was something that was taken from his Polynesian roots.
I did see that, and they were showing some like comparisons, and they're like damn near identical.
Right. So this is how it, like, for his gaffy stick and the creation of it, like, incorporated this, and even the dancing and the fighting moves and things like that. So it was all stuff that he was able to incorporate like his background into his
heritage.
His heritage. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and that was awesome. That's really cool stuff, because I hate to say this, and I'm probably going to get fucking chastised for it, but I'm not. Morrison, to me, he has to prove to me that he's the right actor for this. Right? He's the guy who's the face, right? But he's getting better. He's getting better as an actor, and he's getting better in doing
Sorry, I had to put that up there. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like, I'm still kind of back and forth on him as Boba Fett. Like I totally bought in him as Jango. Like anytime I think of Jango Fett and I think of Tamora Morrison, the actor, I think like perfect, fits perfectly together. But I am with you where something feels a little off when it comes to his portrayal of Boba Fett. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I think it's because really it has nothing to do with. I think it's just his acting. I think that's really what it is. I don't know like what his acting background has been since fucking,
I know he's been
2000s.
in things. He's been in things since Attack of the Clones.
But it's really, I think that's what it comes down to is like this kind of role and what he's doing and the level of dialogue and everything else, I think is different than probably something he's done before. Mm-hmm. So I think he needs to kind of feel his way into the role a little bit. And it's very mechanical still. To me, anyway, yeah. And I'm maybe I'm being overly critical, but there's some times where I'm just, you get that suspension of disbelief. It's like, okay, like I feel like he's struggling a little bit to bring this character to life.
No, I'm actually right there with you. I've kind of felt the same way, but again, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and our point of views are a little bit skewed because we grew up with the Boba from Empire and Jedi, different voice. Different person playing the character, different perception of who this character is. Yes, they filled in the gaps quite a bit for his background ever since, but I think we've got too much of that original trilogy Boba ingrained into our minds that it's kind of hard to let go.
There's a whole sequence in the chat right now about Boba Fett's dentures and the fact that they're made from the bones of a great dragon. Oh God, maybe that's it. Maybe it's there's something with his mouth, and he's definitely like bigger. Look, it's I'm not necessarily with you 100% on the Jedi and the Empire Boba either, because there wasn't enough of him there to influence how I expect him to be here.
Sure.
I really just think it's a matter of, like, even Din Djarin in the beginning, that's not his real name. What's his real name?
Pedro Pascal.
Yes, thank you. His portrayal of the Mandalorian, his portrayal of Din Djarin in the beginning was a little bit more mechanical in his delivery and
kind of robotic almost.
Yeah, and he kind of, I think, developed into the role a little bit more, where he got more comfortable in the armor, let's say. Whereas I think we're probably going to get that way with Morrison.
Yeah.
So but it is one of those things that I think as we're in the early stages of this, and again, this is Star Wars, we're so fucking spoiled because almost when they put something out like this, we're generally speaking, even with actors that don't necessarily aren't big names, they take little known actors and they put them in roles and they do extremely well with them.
Sure.
I mean, aside from fucking Inigo Montoya and fucking Rogue One, who I can't stand, and the fact that he's going to have his own series drives me insane.
That we're going to have to watch and talk about.
Anyway, that's. I think you're getting a. I got distracted. What is happening?
They're going off on all kinds of tangents in the chat, so I wouldn't even look.
Jesus Christ. We're spoiled is what I was trying to say. We're spoiled as Star Wars fans. Like we get a 99.9% of the time we're getting a product that has really good acting in it. And
sure,
when it's just a little bit slow because it's early, and I think if we've been watching it long enough when we notice, and in 2 episodes, that'll be gone, right? That rust will be gone. We won't even notice it anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right. And
Dave does not hate good stuff. That's not true.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, overall, I enjoy the episode. I do feel like the Sand People part kind of drug on a little bit when I wanted to get back to current times. But otherwise, it was an entertaining episode. I've watched it twice, and it got more entertaining the second time I watched it. But again, I do feel like we're missing some pieces here, and I'm really assuming and hoping that it all kind of comes together in in some way, and I'm sure it will. But I want to see more Black Kyrgyzstan. That's what I'm hyped for. That
You can't be pronouncing it right.
oh no, but if you remember when we talked about it back in the day when we were doing the original comics, that's what I called him, and that's what he will always be called. So I don't care what his real name is. On this show, he is Black Kyrgyzstan.
Right, exactly.
So but any overall thoughts from you before we move away from chapter 2?
Was there anything else that I really wanted to?
No point in trying to correct our pronunciation, Luna Girl. It's irrelevant.
Oh, no.
He will be Black Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
Every time on this show and nothing else. So
we make up our own fucking rules with shit like that. No, I think that was it. I think we got pretty much everything.
Oh, and now they're trying to tell us how to pronounce potato.
Tato. Have you ever seen that? It was the. Oh fuck! I can't even think of his name right now. The fucking
Billy Crystal.
No,
Tom Hanks. Joe Montana.
No. He was the late night guy. He used to write for The Simpsons.
Conan O'Brien.
Yes. God, this is like an episode of fucking the Pyramid Show.
Right.
Anyway, excuse me. God, my brain sucks. Anyway, Conan O'Brien went to Dublin, Ireland, and he was doing a tour of a place, and they had these in Ireland. They have it's literally a brand of potato chips called Taytos, Taytos. And every time he would see it, he'd go, Taytos! We're going to have some Taytos! And he'd hold it up. So that's like in our house, that's what they are. Taytos!
We got Chantal in the chat very excited because I know for a fact her Instagram profile picture is a picture of her and Conan. So she got very excited when you brought up his name.
Yeah. Taytos! Yeah, it's fucking...
All right, so I'm assuming that we are done talking about Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2.
We are. I think we are. I think we're ready. In a few weeks, we're going to be talking about chapter 3. Right?
Well, in 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about chapters 3 and 4 in the same episode.
Right.
Because next week we have a different topic. But we'll get to that when we get to the end of the show. We want to talk about one other thing. So for all you non-football fans, this is the time for you to turn off the episode or whatever, because we're going to talk a little bit of football before we close it out.
Yes.
Because some big stuff happened for both of our teams.
Yes. And because we are football nerds too, and both our teams made the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah. It was just a weird season, right? 18 week or 18 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of annoys me because it's fucking a lot of records are being broken.
Yes, and nobody's
have asterisks.
Nobody's mentioning that. Like, oh my God, this guy's about to break the all-time single season completion record. This guy's going to break the single season reception record. It's like, okay, are you mentioning the fact that it's an extra game now? So,
well, and it happens, and whatever. That's fine, but Bronco Fett's rooting for the Cowboys. Of course he is.
Fuck him.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Exactly.
Micah Parsons, it's such a shame that he's on the Cowboys. I tell you right now, so your team is going to play the Cowboys, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Reigniting that old rivalry from the 90s.
Yeah. So your game is Sunday night after my game.
Sunday night football on NBC.
It's the 4:00 game. Is it the night game or the 4:00 game?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't looked yet.
I think it's the 4:00 game. But regardless, so you're playing the Cowboys, and I can 3 p.m. And I can tell you that I think that the Cowboys are not as good as all of the announcers want to fucking make them out to be.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is so much cowboy cocksucking they've been on. All right. So listen, I'm an Eagles fan. I do not like the Cowboys. This is look, it is well documented,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to even pretend that I'm not fucking extremely upset that fucking they put up 50 points on my fucking football team this past weekend.
Yeah.
I had to give up watching it because even though it was Dallas's first teamers against my fucking backups, and they made a game of it in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved for fucking Cowboys to have lost that game, and uh, the fucking Cowboys to have to have acknowledged the fact that they lost to the Eagles' second team, but they didn't, and it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I can't make excuses for it. Dallas had a plan. Whatever. It is what the fuck it is. But the Cowboys are not as good as they think they are.
Yeah, and the 49ers are hot right now. They've been
Yeah.
on a hell of a streak lately. So
Yeah.
it's all about momentum sometimes.
The 49ers have a run game. And with a ground
they
game
do.
right now, I think the Cowboys are beatable. Micah Parsons can't do everything for your fucking football team. And Diggs is very beatable, in the secondary.
Yep.
So I think the Cowboys are a very beatable team. I don't see them advancing very far in this fucking playoffs.
Yeah. I think this week will be a good game for sure.
Yeah. And I think that the Eagles.
Yeah, going back to your boy Brady.
Yeah, I can't. I hate to be. I still don't like Jalen Hurts, right? But it's at a point now where it's like we're sitting here, we're in the playoffs, and seems like the pundits, right, all the talking heads are saying that how good the Eagles are right now because of the run game, and going from the 3 and whatever start and blah 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 again, whatever. I still don't think you need to be able to fucking have some sort of passing game. You can't just run the ball. Even if you're running the ball 200 yards a game, I don't think that you can win. You can't win the Super Bowl that way. I just don't think you can. Because you're going to get up against a defense that's just like, they're going to figure it out. Defenses are going to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
So, and I think when you put pressure on Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, he can't throw the ball. He's not a throwing quarterback. So that's just, it is what it is. So I don't see the Eagles. You give Tom Brady just long enough and he'll beat you.
Yep.
And
he's been doing it for 22 years.
Yeah. And that being said, I would love to fucking knock the Tampa Bay out of this fucking so back in was it 02? Trying to remember what year it was that we lost to the Buccaneers. It was the year the Bucs won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was like 02 or 03. That was.
Yeah, I was watching the playoff game. I was in fucking Korea, and I was watching that playoff game. It was like 3 in the fucking morning on AFN, and I had to watch them fucking lose that playoff game. Watch Warren Sapp fucking. Oh God, watching Warren Sapp celebrate that fucking game made me want to go out and nuke Kim Jong my fucking self. But yeah, I'd love to go back and hand the Bucs that loss, send Tom Brady packing, and and then move on and potentially play San Fran in the next and around later on.
Yeah,
and great.
I think that's the only way that our teams can play at this point is in the NFC Championship.
Right.
We'd both have to win out on the road, which, hey, stranger things have happened. So
they have indeed.
That's why they play the game. But yeah, we're both in the playoffs, so I'm sure we'll have a lot of shit to rant about next week.
Yeah.
Win or lose. So.
And the other thing is, and I don't we haven't talked about it. I can't be excited enough about the fucking the USFL.
So I have no idea what's going on with that. You mentioning that was the first time I'd heard about it. They're bringing back what is it, the United States Football League,
Yeah.
USFL?
So back in the 80s, the USFL was like it was an alternate fucking football
Yeah, they
league,
were a
right?
competitor to the NFL. Like they were poaching players and
And well, and you had players though like Warren Moon,
Mhm.
you had Herschel Walker. There was a handful of big names that came out of the USFL that had big NFL careers.
Yeah.
Um, Philadelphia had a USFL team. They were the Philadelphia Stars. They actually won the fucking championship in 1983.
Mhm.
I had attended Philadelphia Stars games because they played at the Vet. I was super, super into it because it was the closest experience I had to professional football because they didn't sell out those games and they weren't on television.
Mhm.
So that was an in-person football experience, like, and it was a lot of fun, and I have fond memories of it. I
Mhm.
have a fucking Philadelphia Stars pennant from that championship season.
Nice.
So when I saw there was like a flash a few weeks ago, flash across the screen on one of the games that said, coming soon, and it listed all these teams and it said USFL, and I saw the Philadelphia Stars. I'm like, no fucking way.
And
So when I Googled it, sure as shit, they're fucking starting up the USFL again.
when is
And
this supposed to start?
in this year, it's going to
Okay.
start in April. So it's going to be in the spring, and it'll be competing against the fucking XFL.
Right. Well, that got pushed back another year, I think.
Did it really?
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's not starting until 23 or 24.
perfect. So what's going to happen with the USFL is this first year they're actually just going to play it kind of like I think the NHL had done it where they're basically going to play all the games out of one venue
Mm.
for the first year.
Is that for COVID reasons or?
Yeah, it's like COVID just to get this established and avoid all the COVID issues.
Mhm.
Which, to be honest, if they get fans into the game, if that venue is close enough, I might travel. Right?
Shit, I'd go.
This is. I don't know if. I don't know if San Fran. Honestly, I'm only familiar with the Philadelphia team because
I mean, I'm not invested in any USFL teams, so I could jump on the Stars bandwagon.
yeah, and because they incorporated the old logo, the Philadelphia Stars,
Mhm.
I have no reason to fucking be this excited about it, but I'm super fucking excited about it.
Nice.
I want it to be successful. I really do.
I've always thought that the NFL should have had some sort of minor league. They used to have the World League, if you remember back in the day.
Yeah.
But there's really no like minor league. I know the XFL tried, but there's nowhere to kind of like bring up guys that aren't quite good enough to make an NFL roster, but might still have some potential. Throw them on one of these fucking USFL teams. See
Yeah.
how they do.
Yeah, Arena League really wasn't it because you really couldn't stretch guys out and really see how good they were.
Yeah.
Aside from Kurt Warner and a couple other guys, that were playing Arena. The Canadian Football League is a different game. It doesn't get visibility. The
Mhm.
XFL is too gimmicky. It
Yeah.
always was too gimmicky, and I don't think it had any legitimacy. That's why the college game is what it is. Like the college game is your tryouts for the NFL.
Right.
But like you said, I would go and I want to see minor league football in the spring.
Yeah.
It would eat into my baseball time, and I'd fucking go and I'd love it. I'd go get fucking season tickets tomorrow for the USFL to see the Philadelphia Stars play 100%, and I'm be fully invested in it. So yeah, I'm super excited. Again, I have no idea who's going to be on this team. I have no idea how good it's going to be. I do know that they have actually some legitimate, like, there's good people that are at the head of it, and it's not going to be it's not going to be a gimmicky XFL thing. I don't know why Bronco Fett's reiterating that I hate good things. I'd like to, what the XFL is a good thing, whatever. But yeah, so I'm super excited. More to follow on that.
Yeah, keep me
But
updated.
yeah, USFL, man, it's back, baby, it's back. The
All right.
fucking Philadelphia Stars. Can't wait.
So next week we are continuing our music of the year theme, and we are talking about the music of 1992.
92.
92. So
30 fucking years ago.
keep an eye out on the socials. I'm sure Lunar Girl she's probably already started her 1992 playlists on Spotify. So I'm sure she'll be hitting up people for song ideas to add to the playlist. We'll get into it quite a bit. Lots to talk about for 92 music wise. So I'm really looking forward to this episode. And I still can't believe that it was 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah. And, I think we've already mentioned it, but, if not, spoilers. But we're going to be talking about Wayne's World. And in 1992, the Wayne's World fucking soundtrack is, it keeps jumping into my mind as, some of the soundtrack of my 1992.
Ballroom Blitz.
But I've also mentioned before too, this year, 1992. 92 is that year where Summer Dave really kind of had started the thing. If you're new to the podcast, this is kind of where this personality, where this summer, being down the shore personality had really taken effect and influenced more of how I was going to be later on in life. So some of my music selection is going to be influenced by that.
I've already been doing some research, and like some of the shit I'm like, I've totally forgotten about that, but I fucking loved this shit back in the day. Some kind of off the wall stuff. Back in these days I was really into the popular music and everything, but there were some kind of off the beaten path things that I dug up that I'm really looking forward to talking about. So
yeah, it's gonna be a fun show, and Lunar Girl, as always, is going to be out there like beating the airwaves and the interwebs for getting everyone's inputs on playlists. And check out our link tree for our previous playlists. I think our Spotify playlists are on the link tree there for 1990 and 1991. It should be on the link tree, I'm pretty sure. Lunar Girl's really good at that. Yeah. So she's going to be out there getting that shit together, and it's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be a good, that's going to be a good one. And hopefully we'll be in person.
Yes.
And
I'm sure I'll have another stack of fucking CDs ready to display. So otherwise, the week after, we're getting into Book of Boba Fett. And then don't forget, for our patrons, please vote on our January 31st topic. So I gave you a bunch of options. I even gave an other that you can list your own topic in the comments. And we're going to use this to kind of craft our topic for January 31st. So get on there and vote. And once again, thank you to all of our patrons: Shotgun Mark, Frank Kulovich, Ivo G, Scott and Kim, Kristen Roskam, Big Swede, Engineered Perspective, and Frederick Martin. You are all very awesome, and you are the reason why we do this.
Fucking snaps.
And that's all I got.
For Red 5 news, Lunar Girl has been sharing... Damn it. Read, Dave. Lunar Girl has been sharing both daily live stream promos. Oh, shit. All right.
Are you all right?
No. Lunar Girl has been sharing both daily Red 5 live stream promos as well as covering the new releases of pre-recorded Red 5 podcasts on audio and YouTube. There are 33 amazing podcasts, including ours, in the Red 5 network, and literally something for every personality. Be sure to check out some of the other content creators in our family. For the complete list, visit bio.link/Red5. That's bio.link/Red5. Coming at 2200, 10 p.m. Eastern, is WSTR Media and their interview with lead developer Sky from MMO Star Wars Galaxy's Restoration 3 project.
Oh, shit.
That sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah. I got to tune into that one.
Worth staying up for. Following them, catch SNP Late Night Live on the Salty Nerd Podcast on YouTube at midnight Eastern. Salty will be covering Witcher Season 2. Subscribe to both of them on YouTube and hop in their live chat. Tell them the Sidebar sent you. I'm sure Luna Girl will be posting all those and on our socials so that you can link to them from there. As far as our Cantina family, the Use and Abuse podcast will be covering The Electric Company and Spidey Super Stories on Tuesday evening. Join Scott and Kim in a live chat at 1900, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. The ATSW, The Escape Pod, is going anime with Akira on Wednesday at 1905, 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Still going with this, the 1905, even though you're not doing Booth in the Back? Interesting. I like it.
They need that 5-minute buffer time.
Apparently. I like it. I like consistency. I do. I like it. It's like a rocket launch time. It's like we're going at 05.
Like, coming from the podcast that doesn't stick to consistency at all.
No, absolutely not. Well, we spent so much time fucking tracking time, zeros and fives, right? Like everything, take off time, zeros and fives. Yeah, we refuse to be slaves to the fucking clock. God damn it! And much to the chagrin of our social media director.
Yeah.
The Orange and Fett Show will be recording a review of one of their favorite series, Jag, sometime in the near future. Subscribe to them on Spotify and be notified of its release. And last but not least, Swede Studios went and got the band back together this past Friday. Go to Swede Studios on YouTube and rewatch his show with the guys from Slaves for Scores. Follow him on Discord and Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube for updates on their new album. That's Swede Studios, also known as Big Swede's Excellent Adventure. I think he did some snowboarding this weekend as well.
Nice.
For us, you can find us on Getter.
I'm not going to finish that.
You're not going to do it? All right.
Just go to Getter.
You can find us on Getter and Twitter. We are Sidebar Cantina, just at Sidebar Cantina. On Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, we are the Sidebar Cantina. For merch, you can click on the link tree in any of our social media bios to find our merch. It will take you directly to our TeePublic, where you can find t-shirts, hoodies, and a wide variety of designs, sizes, and colors for the entire family. There are also Sidebar Cantina face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, and pins. Just about anything you can imagine. Please tag us with your merch so Luna Girl can share it on the socials. Reviews. Rate us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. Screenshot it and DMS the pic on Instagram or Twitter.
Or on our new Facebook page, too.
Or also on the new Facebook page. You can write one sentence or an entire page, whatever your heart desires. Luna Girl will gladly send you some Cantina stickers in the mail the next day. And we'll read your review, word for word, on our next episode.
Yep.
As an added bonus, if you post your Apple review on Twitter or Instagram and tag us and at Red5 Network, at Red the number 5 Network, you can also get an official Red 5 Network button pin. And that's it.
Alrighty.
That's all I got.
And that is the end of the show. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on the YouTube. Thank you to all the audio listeners. But I do want to ask a favor of everybody who's watching us on YouTube. Please still go and subscribe to us on whatever app you go to listen to your podcast.
All the apps.
Give us that, and yeah, all the apps preferably. And give us that download. It really kind of helps us. And if you're only listening to the audio, go to YouTube and please subscribe to the Sidebar Cantina. Give all of our videos a like, just to kind of help, increase our exposure and help get us out there. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys. And we really appreciate our patrons. You guys are the best. But that being said, we will see everybody next week. Until next time, Dave and everybody else, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Okay, now what do I click?
Alrighty. And that is that. Are we doing an after show? Do you have anything to talk about?
So I think I figured out why it still shows the All Things Star Wars placard
in the audio.
Yeah, it's
why?
Because the Libsyn. So when you gave me the RSS feed for when I put it onto Facebook, it's still. I think it's still the root. All Things Star Wars. It's still All Things Star Wars. .libsyn.rss or whatever.
Okay.
I think there's some root in Libsyn that's pulling that fucking placard from somewhere.
Right.
But if ironically it doesn't, like when it posted on the Facebook on the app, by the way, it's like when you go to Facebook on your Facebook app on your phone is when you should see it on that Facebook page. When the audio posts, which I'm going to look at right now, it posts. The Sidebar Cantina is posted like that, right? Which is all Cool and the Gang.
Yep.
So it's just with the iTunes for some reason, because I think it's somehow referencing it with another. It's where, all right, you started with this one, you're using the same account, so it's reaching back into something else and pulling it. Yeah. The only thing I can think of, because it doesn't show up like that with Spotify, and it's not showing up like that with the other stuff. So I'm not sure. It's definitely updated in Libsyn, though. It should be anyway.
Yeah. I have a theory on that, but we can talk about that later.
All right. That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, it's electrons and whatever. It's
someday we'll figure it out.
Someday.
Yep.
Someday my prince will come.
So, are you feeling the championship belt for the fantasy football? Is that what?
I think we have to see how much it costs. Like, yeah. I don't know how much that costs. That could be expensive.
I mean, a trophy with plates and everything for each year's winner is also going to be expensive.
Yeah. The trophies are cheap comparatively, though.
Okay. Whatever.
I think it's just something we have to price out. I think we can't just go price is no object. I think we really need to research it.
That's how I live my life, man.
Yeah. Has the national championship started?
What happened to Michigan, man?
Well, so interesting you bring that up. There is talk that Harbaugh might go to
the Vikings, right?
No, the Bears.
Oh.
Because the Bears are going to be looking, Harbaugh, as you well know, because you are a football follower, Harbaugh was a quarterback for the Bears.
Yeah, but that did not end well. Like, I still remember, I was watching when he called that audible that turned into a pick six. Ditka fucking laid down the law. You will never call an audible again.
Right.
Like, they had a press conference afterwards where Harbaugh's like, yeah, coach told me I'm not allowed to call an audible anymore.
Right.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
You're going to learn today.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I love about it is I don't know how much there is to that actual rumor, but Chuck Brinzer is a Bears fan, and he hates the idea of Harbaugh going to there. So that's all I've been doing is spamming him with that shit. Me and Jacobs have been fucking just spamming him with fucking Harbaugh going to the Bears. So I don't know how legitimate that is. Ironically, and why I even bring it up, is that if Harbaugh does leave Michigan, I won't hate Michigan as much. I can actually redirect that anger back into Ohio State where it belongs.
Right.
So, yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you something, kind of pivoting away from college for a second, but the NFL, we have a Monday night playoff game. That never happened before. Never. It was always like 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Right. Is this the first year that they're doing this? Because I'm pretty sure, didn't they expand the playoffs last year? Was it last year when the first time that they did the expanded playoffs? Or was...
Eagles weren't in the playoffs last year, so
yeah, neither were the Niners.
So yeah. I really didn't care. But
yeah, I don't think they did.
Year, there definitely wasn't a Monday night game.
Yeah, but I guess they're going towards that because they got an extra game now, so or 2 extra games.
Yeah, I like having the extra football, to be honest.
Sure, me too. And the 18-week season is kind of a neat concept, but I'm really curious what kind of a toll this is going to take on the fucking players. And only one team now gets a fucking bye, which that is probably huge now. In a fucking 18-week season and a fucking 4-round playoff, that one bye week could make the fucking difference for, the team that's going to win it all.
Yeah. No, it's makes seeding, it makes overall seeding less important, but makes the number one seed extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Word is Harbaugh has a new contract for $10 million plus $5 million if he gets the Natty. Yeah, which isn't going to happen.
Cincinnati?
No, the national championship.
Oh, I thought the national championship was down to 2 teams, like Alabama.
No. He won't get it this year. I think what Don is saying is that they're basically going to sign him for $10 million plus $5 million if he gets the national championship.
Gotcha.
Which he won't do. And Bronco Fett brings up a point where, and we were talking about, the college game being basically the minor leagues going into the NFL,
mm-hmm.
where you have the NIL, which is basically the licensing for these college players being able to use their names. This year, Bronco Fett's argument is not quite as valid with Cincinnati getting there because Cincinnati was the better team. I for one am glad Cincinnati made it to the Final Four for the playoff, but the playoff is not. It's still not accurate. I think it needs to be more teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need more teams to be able to play their way in for a legitimate national championship. And teams like the Cincinnatis, if you get a Boise State or you get if you get a fucking service academy or somebody has an amazing season and can play their way into a tournament.
Notre Dame.
Fuck Notre Dame. Who the fuck said that? You came up with that? You just came up with that on your fucking own.
Yeah, I just thought of a random college.
Just thought of a random college. You can go. You can. I'm speechless.
That's the best part about the fact that we've done this podcast for so long that I know just what buttons to push for you, just to
fucker. The playoffs definitely need to go to 8 teams. And I think honestly, for just to close for us this conversation, I think then the NIL makes the Power 5 conference actually less of an issue. I think it's kind of counterintuitive, but I think that you can actually, if you're not limited to just what the school can offer and what boosters and things like that can offer, you can bring in some outside influence. I think you can use your intangibles to bring people in. I watched the East-West game this weekend, which is basically high school players, an opportunity for them to play and showcase for colleges. And a lot of them did their selections on that broadcast. And I watched really good, 4-star recruits were going to schools that I was really surprised. Guys that were committing to schools like Arizona, Colorado State, schools that aren't in the Power 5 conference. And turning down schools that with bigger programs so that they, and honestly, they're 4-star talents that are going to get more recognition playing in a school like that and still be able to get probably some recognition with their licensing. Yeah. So we're still that the licensing, I think, still has a a maturation process to happen. And Nick Saban actually made a comment recently talking about how it really needs to be regulated, and he's 100% right. I think right now it's a free for all, and I think there's going to have to be some regulation, otherwise it's going to get just the rich are just going to get richer, and it's going to unbalance the whole system. And it won't be good, and ultimately the kids will end up losing again. So I think there has to be some sort of restriction and be able to spread that out so that it can get be better.
Sure.
So in the meantime, those kids, go out there, get that money. Go fucking get your money.
Yeah.
Do what you can do, man. If you can go out there and you can play this game that we all love so much and we love to watch, and you can get money for it, get it while you can, because the moments are fleeting. Watch these guys get hurt. Watch the shit that's happening with Antonio Brown. It's really difficult to say that. I think a lot of people want to say that he has some mental instability and some CTE issues because of what's going on, but the reality is, we don't know, and we don't know what's going on with him. It could just be a personality thing, but even without all that, he may not get big contracts ever again.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is like Terrell Owens doing fucking sit-ups in his front yard.
Yep.
This is that kind of shit. And so the game, it can be fleeting. So get your fucking money while you can.
For sure. Alrighty. I think it is about time to pack up though, because I gotta hit the bathroom, and we might as well call this a good quitting time.
Roger.
So thanks again for everybody sticking around in the after show, and check out all of our friends for the rest of the week on their respective shows.
Yep. And don't tune into the SEC championship game part 2, because fuck the SEC.
All right, fair enough. Well, we're out of here, guys. See you next week.
See ya.